And then he goes, and it's always important to get even. Of course, you wouldn't get even. None of you will get divorced because you're Christian. It's just so clear to me that he's pandering.
The obvious line in the middle of all that is when he said, "That's what you like, right? That's what you like."
That's what you like.
Literally.
Happy to be back. Happy to have here. So we haven't had him on, but we've run in the same circles for a while, and he's been a great supporter of some of the stuff that we've done with Louder with Crowder over at the site he manages, therightscoop.com. So if you haven't been there, I highly recommend you check it out. Follow him on Twitter. Our guest, hopefully a regular guest, and you know what that means? That means he has his own intro. Not gay, Jared. I'm happy to introduce to you.
I am the singing at the party.
There's a theme here.
I am singing, it's my turn to sing at the party.
It's his turn.
It's his turn.
It's the turn of Super Mexican. Thanks for being on the show, sir.
Hello, how are you doing, man?
I am doing very well, thank you.
You're looking very nice in the Schoolhouse Rock t-shirt.
I know, people tell me I need to wash it.
No, he's fine, man. He's okay. I'm very glad that you have me on so I can talk about my transracial transitioning.
Transracial? Yeah, let me hear it.
Well, I want to change from Mexican to Cuban because they're doing so well in the election. So, what do you think?
I think that would be a horrible idea because Mexicans are not strong swimmers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Screw that then.
Yeah, wading through a trough is not quite the same as hopping on an old yardstick and floating into Florida.
All right, that's a good point. I'll stick with my original plan then.
It's a good point. So I wanted to talk about the debates with you. Now, I will say this. I've noticed a shift at the Right Scoop and at a lot of sites, even places, Mark Levin, you guys work so closely with him, where people were kind of on the Trump bandwagon, and obviously you are not now. But there was a time where you were kind of, okay, let's see where this goes. Was it that you thought he brought some value and you think now it's just, okay, it's time to get serious? Where do you line up on this whole kind of circus?
Well, I'll tell you what I think it was for the website is that we saw the value in what he was doing because he's absolutely kind of symbolic of this anger towards the GOP establishment and other kind of entities that we've had the same kind of anger for years about. So we saw the benefit in that. But lately he's just gotten so nasty and so, I mean, it's just gotten to the point where we can't defend it anymore. And so I think that's kind of what you're seeing is a lot of people are kind of turning on him just because of the way he's attacking Ted Cruz in a very, highly personal way, not anything to do with any substance, not having anything to do with policy matters. It's about, he's not really Christian because he's from Cuba. He's
he read that in 2 Corinthians.
That's right. That's right.
Now, here's the one thing with that. Like, is everyone else? I mean, listen, you're a smart guy. Am I the only one who just realizes that it's complete BS? Well, at the Liberty thing is a perfect example. 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians. Because the Lord said you're going to love this. And then for liberty for all. That's it. That's it. That's the main thing. That's the main verse. And then he goes, and it's always important to get even. Of course, you wouldn't get even. None of you will get divorced because you're Christian. It's just so clear to me that he's pandering.
The obvious line in the middle of all that is when he said, "That's what you like, right? That's what you like.
That's what you like."
Literally, yeah, that's what you like. That's what you want to hear, right? It is so obvious to the rest of us. It's just it's blindingly bewildering to see people who we kind of fought next to against liberals falling for this, and it's incredible. It really is. And what's weird is you see it on Fox News. Like half of the hosts are suspicious of Trump, and the other half are like full bore, like marching. Right. There's literally saying, you cannot attack him. You have to toe the line. Like it is amazing. It's really incredible.
Well, yeah, and having worked at Fox News for a long time, I know they have people they prefer. There's truth to that, but like you see, it's split among the hosts. And when it comes down to the Megyn Kelly thing, I don't think her question was all that inappropriate. The first one that created this cascade. I certainly don't think it was bad enough to boycott a debate. And like everything else, I think there's something personal there behind the scenes. It seems like every decision Trump makes is very personal, right? He likes Ronda Rousey until she's not going to vote for him. He likes Ben Carson until he beats him in the polls. He likes Ted Cruz until Ted Cruz beats him in the polls. Everything is hyperly personal.
Yeah, look, he doesn't even hide it. he literally will say, I like this person if they like me, and I hate them if they hate me, if they
Right.
dislike me. And what's I find so funny about that is, if you're a parent, that's the kind of attitude that you try to teach your kids not to be, because that's such a childish way to look at the world.
Right.
Like,
Good point.
you try to teach your children to have values and principles so that you like people according to their character, not whether they like you or not. And that's such a realpolitik, very a kind of pragmatic way of looking at the world. And you would think that if you were a principled conservative, you would see right through that. But so many of us, not me, but so many people are just sick of being lied to by the GOP, and they will latch on to anything as long as they think it's gonna make Boehner cry. And
Yeah.
that's not a good reason to vote for
But
somebody, I think.
all of the GOP, they just said yesterday, no senators have endorsed you, Ted Cruz. Bob Dole, now Huckabee, Santorum, basically unofficially endorsing someone like Trump. Everyone in the establishment has said they would prefer Trump because he's a deal maker and he'll compromise. And none of them want Ted Cruz. So when people talk about the establishment, isn't that important to note? Do you feel like your readers, because I've noticed the readers at Right Scoop have come along with you, and that's not the case at a lot of sites. A lot of sites are just, Trump 2016, you suck, I'm reporting you to the NSA. Do you feel as though they've just become more educated and there has been a slow turning, or do you think this guy's just going to get the nomination and we'll all be audited?
I don't know that our audience is terribly indicative of the greater audience. I would hope so, but
Right.
I do also think that there is an army of online trolls that make it seem like he is invincible, and that's not the case. I think there are some signs in Iowa that he may not be as ahead there as people would like to think, but I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult to say. This is the thing is you're very smart about this stuff and you've read up a lot about it. The founders purposely wrote the Constitution in such a way to keep populists out, like to keep
Right.
this kind of strong man populism from taking root here, and for so many to just blindly latch onto it. It is just amazing.
Well, I have a
incredible.
litmus test. And this is my litmus test, and you tell me if you think I'm out of line. I can understand if people say, okay, I get it. He was pro-Syrian refugee 2 months ago.
Yeah.
He's here's my first thing. If you're 70 years old and you've completely changed your worldview to pro-life, to limited government, what were you doing for the first 65 years of your life? It's a legitimate question, right? Why did you make the change? And I need to hear a flash of genius moment, which I've not heard. But my litmus test is not, okay, can someone support? I can understand people who support Trump, and they're not,
Sure.
conservatism has nothing to do with it, and they just want what they want. I can understand that.
Right.
My issue is with pundits and people out there on radio and on Fox. My litmus test is if you refuse to criticize Trump in the same way you would criticize any other candidates. And if someone doesn't do that, I immediately have to discount their opinion, and it holds no water, and I can't respect them. Do you feel that way?
I think I kind of feel that way. I feel like one of the reasons that Trump is so popular is that we have kind of encouraged this outrage machine and this like black and white thinking among social media conservatives, and we just got them into this lather, and now they're coming back to bite us on the butt, in our comment section and everywhere else, where you railed against the GOP establishment, and now, without any inkling of the definitions of words, they're going to apply that to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, all that we have.
Yeah, I'm establishment, don't you know? I'm on the GOP payroll. I find it so funny, like the Islam thing. People go, you're a conservative, you love. I'm going, I was doing videos. I've done more videos on Islam than any other individual conservative, and I was doing it back in 2009, getting death threats before Breitbart sites existed, and while Donald Trump still believed in censoring free speech against Islam.
Right, exactly.
But I'm the cuck. We're the established. Do you think these people actually think we're paid by the GOP? Do you think they really believe that, or it's just an attack?
I think they're not even thinking. I think they're just lashing out. I mean, it is so. I mean, the
drunk
stuff.
and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
That's exactly right. The stuff that I get is way worse than I had when I got from Obama zombies. Like,
Yeah.
these people are illiterate. I mean, they're irrational. They're disjointed, disconnected. Like their attacks make no sense whatsoever.
And to be fair, we're not talking about all Trump voters. We're talking about this
Absolutely not.
active contingency online.
Yes, right. Yeah, no, there's lots of very good, very decent people who support Trump for their reasons that they think are.
It's just unfortunate that every single neo-Nazi, Aryan racist group also endorses Trump. It's just unfortunate. I had someone go, "Oh yeah, you hate Trump because you're probably a cuck who supports adopting African children." And like the problem to me is not it's just some random person, but it got like 50, 80 retweets and likes, as though that was an insult. What is wrong? They go, well, don't try and feign your political correctness. It's unnatural to not want to see your line go down. I genuinely couldn't care less. I would gladly adopt an African child. I would gladly see my daughter be with someone of any race, as long as they shared my principles and values. It's never even occurred to me.
Yeah, and I do think this is the delineating, kind of distinction between what we're seeing, this wide gulf among conservatives is that there's those of us who think that the values and the principles of conservatism and of America are beyond race, and they apply to everyone equally as long as they can, live up to them and they can accept them. And then there's people who really think there's a racial element in there, and it's just weird. It's just odd.
Well, I don't think, and that's where you said it's a low information voter base because they don't understand, and they'll call me a cuck for saying this. When we talk about America and becoming an American and immigrating here, we're not talking about a race. I don't care if you're from Haiti. I don't care if you're from Mexico. I don't care if you're from Cuba. You learn the language, and you become an American, and you take part, and you produce. You contribute in American society. It's about we're not a country like Germany or Sweden with a race of people, right, or Zimbabwe. We're a country of very specific ideas, and it is really troubling to me to see, like I said, not all Trump voters, but I get a lot, and I know you do too, a lot of emails and comments from people who think it's a race thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, some of our, legendary conservative thinkers think that too. This is why Phyllis, I can't ever say her name, Phyllis Schlafly.
I had to introduce her at CPAC a few years ago.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, I also made a joke about how fine she was. She didn't find it funny.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like the type.
No.
But she wrote this editorial about how, Latinos and Hispanics, they are simply incapable of understanding the principles in the Bill of Rights. And I'm like, wow, man, I thought that I understood them. Apparently I don't, because I'm Hispanic. I never knew this, you know. It's that kind of yeah, it's weird. It's just like there are certain races who just simply do not have.
And I don't understand how Alfonso Rachel, Andrew Clavin, people like you would even be able to get started in the climate today. People who share the ideals, who I guess don't have the right level of melanin in their skin. But Super Mexican, we have to let you go. The site for people who don't know is?
SooperMexican.com and also at therightscoop.com.
Therightscoop.com. Thank you so much, brother. We'll have to have you back with your party singing sometime soon.
Órale pues. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. That was Super Mexican, for those of you who don't know. And I know we have to go to a break, but real quick, I just love this song so much.
I am the singing at the bar.
It's just the best intro we have.
It is.
I am.
All right. Anyways, that's enough of that. Hey, if you like this video, subscribe by clicking my face or the button above me or one of these videos next to me. It's all free. If you don't like it, I can take off my glasses. I can be whoever you want me to be. Okay? Internet, love me. I need your affection. What are the latest polls?